Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Our sports ticker tonight brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The college baseball world will crown a champion tonight as the LSU Tigers will face the Florida Gators in Game 3 of their series. The Gators routed the Tigers yesterday 24-4 to force the Game 3 finale. First pitch coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Husker football picked up their 18th and 19th commitments for the 2024 class this afternoon with the addition of running back Kewan Lacey and defensive back Rex Guthrie. Lacey from Lancaster, Texas, chose NU over Ole Miss. Guthrie is from Colorado, listed as a safety. He picked Nebraska over Wyoming and others. We'll hear more about the Huskers recruiting class later this hour with Rivals Greg Smith. Husker Soccer has hired a former player as an assistant coach. Savannah Anderson Bear will become a fourth assistant for John Walker's program. She was an all Big Ten selection in 2018 and a two-time captain as a Husker. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now get ready for 2 hours of Sports Highlight coming up here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Three eligible to the near side. Back to throw is Morgan. Stepping up, gets hit, drop. Oh, he got drilled at the 18-yard line. Ty Robinson's second sack of the year. I think he took his shoes off with that hit. Simon gets the shotgun snap. Huskers send a corner blitz. Simon steps, throws. Pass intercepted. Picked off by Miles Farmer.
Go,
to the 35, to the 30. Riptide down to the 27-yard line. Miles Farmer's fourth career INT.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to another week Sports On. I hope you had a nice weekend. And tonight we're getting ready to watch here in the studio at least the end of the college baseball season. That will do it for the 2022-23 school year. This is the last NCAA competition of the year. And you think about it, Jessica, this is what is today, the 26th of June. You're going to start having some soccer matches in about 5-6 weeks for the next school year.
I just got to say one thing. This game tonight better be better than yesterday's.
Yeah, it was a blowout.
It was terrible.
Yeah. It was one of the few bad games they've had.
Yes.
Of the 14 before yesterday, 10 had been decided by either one run or walk-off fashion.
Had to be, overall, from start to finish, one of the better college World Series.
Yeah, it is.
With there not being so many blowouts and the different types of games, and you saw some different heroes, and it seemed well attended. So I think probably overall, but yesterday was...
Yeah, it was bad. And maybe it's because it was a day game, because the other championship game was at night. Tonight's a night game as well. Two completely different approaches for these two teams, and I want to talk about that a little bit. Hadn't really planned on it, but we're going to go this way. LSU has kind of gone out and bought their team, for the lack of a better word. They've gone to the portal. Like their stud pitcher they got from Air Force. Their Tommy White, their Tommy Two Tubs, Tommy Tanks, I think is his nickname, has 25 home runs. They got him from NC State. Their closer they got from another school as well. So they went out and they spent, I'm told, over $1 million in NIL money for their baseball program. They did something similar, that school did, in women's basketball, where they went and got a bunch of high-priced transfers. The gal from Maryland who ended up being the MVP of the tournament. I guess my question is that really the way we want college sports to go, that you basically can go buy a championship in these sports? Football's harder to do because you need more players, but in these sports where 3 or 4 people can make a huge difference.
I mean, that's where we are. That's kind of the landscape now. We've seen it really across all sports, that especially the ones that, like you said, 1 or 2 players can make a big impact. That's why this NIL deal has gotten out of hand. And yeah, I think that's why they try to pull back the reins a little bit, where you put some regulations where the portal's only open a certain time. You can only transfer once without having to sit out. And, we're about to be done with the COVID years, the extra years. And so I think maybe you might see a little bit of settling down on that front, but I think it's kind of here because the transfer portal's not going anywhere, and NIL and the collectives and all that kind of is not going anywhere either. But some people might say that Nebraska softball did that, but it's not the same.
No, it's
by
not,
any
Jordy.
means.
No, it's not.
But I'm saying that where softball was, and then one player can really maybe take a team from being a postseason team to maybe being a College World Series team, I guess is what more so I was getting at. There are some programs that just one player can really change a trajectory of a team, whereas like you're saying with LSU, you're bringing in several to kind of build it. So it's also a different feeling in that regard, where if you're just bringing in one that really makes a huge difference, to me is a completely different feeling, because there might be a reason like what Jordy did, where she wanted to come back home, or certain players have certain reasons why they want to transfer, and it makes sense to where you're just, hey, shelling out the money and building a team that way. To me, that feels completely different.
Well, it seems really professional.
Yeah.
It's like a pro league to go do that. And, you know, you may be playing for one of the poor franchises in the major leagues or the NBA, and you're like, I want to go win. I want to go somewhere where I can win. So who's going to bid the highest money for me to come? Where Florida hasn't really done that. The Gators, they've got one or two portal additions, but it's pretty much guys that have been on their team for several years. But LSU went, and without the 3 or 4 additions they have, they would not be playing tonight. They wouldn't be. They would be maybe not even in Omaha to get to that thing.
It's also kind of crazy, too. Florida just flew under the radar, and LSU's kind of been the team I feel like that we've heard talked about over and over and over again from the start of really from probably the playoff or from the postseason. And especially here in the World Series, I feel like that's the team. And Florida's not really one you've heard a lot about. I feel like they've just kind of...
the number 2 overall seed, so...
But they've kind of just not really been the one that... I feel like when you're listening or watching and you're seeing all the coverage of it, it seems like it's a lot about LSU. Right. And not as much about Florida. And probably because LSU has taken over Omaha. I mean, if you listen to the noise... Challenge.
Yeah, if you listen to the noise in the games, it's just all... It sounds like there's only a handful of Gator fans that have been there. But, you know, it's really kind of where we are. And I worry, the sport that I maybe worry the most about kind of buying your way to that is basketball, because 1 or 2 players in basketball makes a huge difference. And I think we've seen that in this offseason.
I think so. I mean, but I do think, again, it's with the regulations where you can only transfer once unless you're a grad transfer. It hopefully will just... Because in the past couple of years, we have seen some players that have played at multiple schools, and that needed to change. And so, but yeah, I mean, there's absolutely, in basketball, you get 2 really big-time recruits, and that completely changes a team.
Sure does. But as you said, it's where we are. It's where we've gotten to. You know, we're sitting out with the Go Big project we get to look at. It's almost done. Mike Loxley, the head football coach in Maryland, they've unveiled plans to build kind of a new facility. And he said, you know what, 5 years ago, this would be huge news. He goes, now we may be wanting our boosters more to funnel not to buildings and brick and mortar, but we need to funnel it more to NIL, because we got to pay these athletes. And I know Trev Alberts probably doesn't sleep at night because he's worried about, are we going to have enough money to be competitive in our sports, because we got to funnel money to these student athletes. And
we're not even done yet, right? I mean, we don't even know what it's going to look like. It's changed so much even just in the last 2 years. It's going to keep changing. We don't know what it's going to look like in 2 years.
You're right.
Where are they going to say, well, you do need to start... Some of that TV money that's rolling in does need to go to the student athletes. There's a lawsuit out, or there's I think a court case going on right now in California, which that was the one. O'Bannon was the one that completely changed the whole trajectory of the NIL. Right. It was just 2 cases that completely changed the whole landscape in terms of NIL goes. Well, now is that going to completely change if some of that changes? And then you've got some senators that are going in there trying to raise some NIL legislation to try to make where the student athletes are getting some of the money that's coming into the athletics department. Yeah, I mean, we just don't know what this thing's going to look like in a year.
No, we don't. And I was just thinking, you and I, almost 2 years ago to this date, we did a show, because that's when NIL opened up. I think it was July 1st of 2021 was when NIL became the law of the land. And I think everybody was supportive, because you're like, you know, somebody, if they're a really popular student athlete, they ought to be able to make a few bucks off their name and their image and their likeness. Maybe go sell some T-shirts, do an autograph show, and make some money. But what it's turned into is go buy yourself a team. And so I think it's gotten way away from kind of the intent, which if you don't have bumpers, you don't have strict rules, that's what ends up happening.
So, I mean, in the case of, and you brought up LSU women's basketball, so Haley Van Lith is one of those players that she was at Louisville who was competing on Final Fours, and they made a deep run last year. They made a deep run the year before. She didn't win the title, so she's a little bit Kevin Durant-ish, right? If you can't
beat him, join him.
People argue what his legacy is right now because did he win one without having to join a super team? So she goes to join LSU. But I will say this about Kim Mulkey, and not a huge fan of hers, but she did build a dynasty at Baylor. And so maybe some of it, too, is she's paying players now, but then you get those top recruits. I don't know. We'll see how this affects women's basketball, where it is through the portal as opposed to high school recruiting, whereas we talked to Amy Williams a couple weeks ago, and that's still they're not going to completely get away from the portal, but they still want to build this team from freshmen and grow and develop players through this program. And certainly they're going to bring in the needs from the portal, but it's not going to be built from the portal. And certain teams, maybe you look at like a Kim Mulkey, because she just got to LSU, maybe trying to establish it through the portal, and then we'll go, because she did build it from freshmen and recruiting at Baylor. Now that was before NIL, but maybe that's where you started in a way, then you go compete for a national title, and then you've got that recruiting coming because you're seeing teams that are playing for national titles. And I mean, Oklahoma softball didn't build their team through the portal.
Right.
So there are some teams that once you get there, maybe it's more so establishing. I mean, you could maybe argue at this point, if Nebraska men's basketball gets things turned around, maybe they had to turn to the portal to get things established before they could, which I feel like it's with men's basketball more than the portal affects. Probably.
Well, you're talking about 1,500 kids in the portal from men's basketball, so that's a lot of people.
But maybe for some of these new coaches that are coming in and you have to go to the portal to kind of establish your program and then you go back to the high school recruiting. But I don't know. It's still kind of too early in this thing to know if it's just going to stay with the portal. If certain programs are going to stick with portals, certain programs are going to try to build through high school recruiting. To me, it's kind of too early to say this is how it's going to be.
Right. Who was the girl that was a great player for LSU, came from Maryland? Paris Reese?
Yeah.
So
it's Angel Reese and
Angel
Paris.
Reese.
Yeah.
Angel Reese came from Maryland, and she came through the portal, so I don't know what kind of compensation she got. I'm sure it was some. But, she leaves a really solid program in Maryland and goes to LSU and then gets a ring and wins the title with them. You're right. I think 5 years from now we'll have a better snapshot of, can you just buy championships year after year after year in these other sports? I don't think football it applies as much because you need 25 people, so you can't really do that. You can certainly do it at the quarterback position, and that's the biggest position in football. And we look around. We've got Jeff Sims here. We had Casey Thompson last year. Most of the teams in the Big Ten West have gone to the portal to get a quarterback, but it's harder to do that across the board. You got to get linemen and running backs and wide receivers and all those.
You can maybe get 2 or 3 impact players,
right?
But it's just such a big team, and you've got to build your program there. You've got to have development in football. I mean, there's just bottom line, but just because of the way that the other sports are, I mean, you can absolutely change a complete trajectory of a program and a season with 1 or 2 additions.
So having said that, I'll get off my soapbox. I'm pulling for Florida tonight because I think they've built their team kind of more what I would consider the right way to do it, the way you laid out that Amy Williams is doing it here for Husker basketball. We'll monitor the Gators coming to bat at the bottom of the first, no score of that game. Beautiful night up there for the final game of the season. Great couple of weeks for Husker football. We're now into a dead period, which means coaches cannot contact prospective student athletes for the next month or so. This is kind of the off season for these coaches. They get a chance to go vacation, go spend some time with their family, recharge their batteries before camp opens in about an hour. But even today, 2 more commits. I had it in the ticker, came through the line this afternoon. So Nebraska up to 19. Man, there's certain areas, there's certain pockets that they're doing really well. They're certainly getting a lot of Nebraska kids in this class. We've had a couple now have committed from the state of Colorado, which is interesting. You go right in the backyard of Dion and grab a couple of kids, and obviously they're gonna hit Texas hard. This staff's gonna go down to the Lone Star State.
Oh, that's to me, it's crazy how quickly they came in. We sat here preparing for signing day show in December, which not even the entire staff was here. Some of them were just getting settled in, but the ones that were here made it very clear we're going to protect the home border. We're going to lock in Nebraska. We're going to win at home. And we're going to open up the pipeline back to Texas. And it is very clear that in one recruiting class, they've done both of those. They've opened that pipeline back up to Texas, and they who was it? I think I saw that Coach Rule retweeted that they brought out an ad in Dave Campbell's high school football in Texas, which is Dave Campbell he's Texas high school football.
He's got his finger on the pulse of everybody that plays that sport down there.
Yeah, so I mean, that is just. And they had a photo of Coach Roll and, Dr. Susan Elza, who came from the NIL, and some of the ties that are to Texas, Garrett McGuire, Coach Wager. They had a photo, really cool graphic, just such a smart marketing tool. So that's absolutely a priority. They're going to get back into Texas, but I think the case has been made. You have to be in Texas if you want to compete in college football. It's just such a hotbed. But on that note, they're also going to protect the home field, and they've absolutely done that too. They had a huge weekend. I'm like, I can't even keep up. It's just it's commit after commit after commit. I walked in here like, we got another one.
Yeah. Two since about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
I went up there in my office. I came back down. I missed one. I can't even keep up.
Well, you're not going to have to hear the music thumping to the concourse for a few weeks. You can be okay with some quiet concourse walking around.
Yeah, they might manage to pull it up for something else. Who knows? I'm not holding my breath.
Well, a couple of them told me they were going to scoot out of here for a few weeks, go do some fishing, see their family, and do those type of things. And boy, do they need it, because they have run a rat race since they basically came here in early December. You mentioned some of them weren't even here until early January, but they certainly have deserved some downtime. We'll get a full report of that from Greg Smith coming up here in just a little bit. He is the national recruiting analyst for Rivals. We'll get his thoughts about this Husker recruiting class. We're going to have some fun in hour 2. Folks, this is the last show for Jessica and I together until July 17th. I'm going to be out the rest of the week. You're going to be out next week. I'm going to be out the following week. So we thought what we would do, since this is the end of this school year, we thought we would look back and pick our top 5 Husker male and female athletes in this past school year. This was not easy to do. I had to wrap up the cord and throw it away a couple times because I go, I forgot that person. I better put them in there.
There's definitely a good honorable mention list. I think there's a number of ways you can go really with both sports, and depending on what you're looking for in terms of some team success, individual success, what kind of do you base that on? Some people I know vote certain ways, but yeah, it's and we haven't really had time to do anything like this because it's been so busy around here, which sometimes this time of the year gets a little lull in the news cycle, but it has not been the case this year. So this is the first time we haven't had a chance to do anything like this.
So we're looking forward to that. So we'll have some fun with that in hour number 2 of the program. And as always, we want your input, 402-413-2400. That doubles up as our phone line and our text line. So if you want to be a part of the program and offer up your thoughts and opinions, we certainly welcome those here tonight. Folks, buckle up, put the phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We're back to hear from Greg Smith. We'll talk football recruiting. That next.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. 26 Husker students presented research findings on nuclear deterrence to a panel of U.S. Strategic Command officials at STRATCOM headquarters in Bellevue. The student-led presentation was the culmination of a semester of STRATCOM-guided research and the latest in a years-long partnership between STRATCOM and the National Security Studies program at Nebraska.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. That's why we make trucks like Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight and counting. Made for performance and capability, made to play hard and work smart, on and off-road. That's because they're built Ford tough. So be future ready with Ford F-Series, based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 one-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22. Now through the end of June. dine in or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Husker fans, mark your calendar for Sunday morning, July 16th to join the Nebraska football team in the race for a cure against pediatric brain cancer. It's the 11th annual Nebraska Football Road Race. This year, all runners start and finish on Tom Osborne Field in Memorial Stadium. The final 69 yards will recreate the iconic 2013 ESPY Play of the Year when brain cancer patient Jack Hoffman scored a touchdown in the spring game. To register, go to huskers.com/road race. Sponsored by the home agency with support from the Lincoln Track Club.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Baseball season has arrived, and your local Cenex has all your favorite snacks and beverages for the game. So whether you're hitting the road for an away game, headed to Haymarket Park, or going to cheer on your favorite local team, make Cenex your destination for top quality fuel, your favorite snacks, and service from a local smile. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally at Cenex. To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers. Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Welcome back, Sports Nightly, here on a Monday night. We're wrapping up June, and actually we're into a dead period now in the recruiting world for college football. And so we thought we'd take a look back at what the Huskers accomplished, and it was a lot during the month of June, and who better to do that than Rivals' Greg Smith, who's also their he's got a new title now, a fancy new title for Greg, now the national recruiting for Rivals. Good to see you. What a busy month, huh? And what, I guess, a pretty productive month for Matt Rural.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me, man, as always. And yeah, always great to see you and be on. Very productive month, to say the least, as Nebraska seems to have really hit their groove here in the month of June with these official visits and being able to convert those to commitments. I want to say off top that it's really interesting if you think about it, because Matt Rule believe this is the first time that he and a lot of this staff have gone through summer official visits, right? So obviously they're quick learners kind of about how this thing goes and how to wrap these things up.
18, is that the head count right now for this class?
Yes, 18 right now as we speak.
And in addition, today, tell us about the running back that the Nebraska secured the commitment from earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, Kewan Lacey out of Texas. I am very, very high on him and what he can bring to the table for Nebraska. And I think I tweeted this out a little bit earlier, is that he looks like a kid that's just built to run in the Big Ten. He's about 6 foot, 6'1", 190, 195 pounds, really thick lower half. He looks like a guy that he can run you over, but he's also got enough speed to get by people, and he's a really good receiver out of the backfield as well. I think that Matt Rule and E.J. Barthel, the running backs coach, I think those guys really dipped into Texas and got a really strong running back prospect who had just over 30 offers, scholarship offers on the table. And I think most notably, Nebraska beat out Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin for his pledge, which is always good with the way that he gets going on offense.
Greg, I think the last time we talked was right after Daniel Kalen had committed to Nebraska, the Bell West quarterback. It seems like he's become a pretty good recruiter. Like maybe he needs to be an assistant coach on this staff.
It's funny that you say that. I spoke with him earlier, and he actually said that he felt like another recruiting assistant or an assistant coach on the official visit this weekend. And this has been just an amazing kind of not even turn of events, but just situation that has built up within this recruiting class with him and kind of being the ringleader for the class and really embracing this role of peer recruiting. And it's obvious, and I think I mentioned this when we spoke last time, is he's a really well-liked kid, and he's a guy that other players really do gravitate towards. And I think that when you have that combined with kind of the good vibes around the program, that family feel that's going on, and then you get kids here, especially the ones from out of state that don't know all that much about Nebraska that have been committing before they, come for their visits. It's a real potent combination there, and he's doing a great job of being an ambassador for the program right now. And I think that'll be a big, big part of building this 2024 class and the story of it when we get to December.
He's an in-state kid, obviously. It looks like it looks like it's a really good year for in-state recruits. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, it absolutely would be. Nebraska now in double digits for in-state scholarship offers, and I think that this year, what I kind of think about too is that it's going to be awesome to watch high school football around the state this year as well, right? It's always a good time, but it's going to be even better this year with the number of Power 5 players that are in the state. A lot of them committed to Nebraska, but the ones that are not, there's good talent out there, and then even more guys that I think are yet to come, because we always have kind of those late risers in Nebraska when guys kind of get to focus on football and then get to kind of rise up the process and teams' recruiting boards. It's a great year for in-state talent in Nebraska.
Greg, would you put Donovan Jones kind of in that late riser category, the young man from Omaha North that committed, I guess, about a week ago? I had not heard that name a lot. What about Donovan Jones? What do you think attracted the staff to him?
Yeah, I think he's another one of those kids, and he was kind of in this group of players that all worked out for, Coach Rule and the staff at one of their hosted camps, and then really impressed the staff, got an offer, and then ended up in the class. The thing about Donovan Jones, he's got really good size at about 6'1" as a cornerback. You've seen him; he's well put together as well, and he's very fast. Like I feel like we can just hit like kind of a little button, anytime we say that one of their recruits is fast, because basically all of them are. And Donovan Jones definitely fits that build, and so with his size and speed combination, and he was a really productive player in Omaha North last year, and I expect that to happen again. He's a good tackler too. I think Nebraska got a really good player, and like you said, a late riser that was a little bit off the radar until camp season, but that's exactly what these camps are for, right?
Greg, everybody's probably screaming at me. We got to talk about the big tight end from Ainsworth. I guess he announced he's going to make his call on Wednesday. A lot of crystal balls going in Nebraska's favor. Are you in that camp?
I am in that camp. I put out a thing yesterday where I've got a prediction for Carter Nelson to commit to Nebraska now on Wednesday. Like you said, he said that he's going to do it on Wednesday. I think Nebraska ends up getting him, and I think the excitement is there for good reason. I think it's a number of reasons. One, it would say he's a fantastic football player, and he's 6'5", 215 pounds. Is kind of that classic now hybrid tight end that can do a whole lot of things for you on the football field, and can really cause matchup nightmares. Then when you get off of the field, we talk about the impact of Danny Kaelin. This is another one of those situations where I think that Kaelin getting the ball rolling and giving this staff credibility in state has really helped and has now gotten all the way to Carter Nelson, to where their kids in state are like, okay, maybe it really is a good thing and a cool thing now to look at staying home and playing for the Big Red. And I think the Carter Nelson kind of fits into that, should he make that decision on Wednesday.
Well, that'd be huge. Where do you have Nebraska sitting right now nationally with this class? Or do you have them in the top 20 yet, or would Nelson throw them in the top 20?
They are in the top 20. Rivals has them at 17 right now. And so, a commitment of a guy that's in the top 200 would throw that even further up. And so, yeah, they'll continue to climb, which has become now a really kind of big storyline with this class, right? Because when we had that kind of run of guys that committed to Nebraska that were kind of under the radar, and these guys that they had worked out at camps, people started to get a little nervous about that, I think, before you see kind of this staff get their hands on kids and really develop them, right? But then when you start to also realize that, they're getting a lot of highly recruited kids as well. It's a real nice blend in this class. I think we're going to get to the end of this class, but I have a prediction. We'll get to the end of the class and people will be saying, that's a really sneaky good recruiting class that Matt Rule put together. I think we're on track for that in a big way.
So 18 top 20 class right now, 18 commits. With the portal, are they about to stop? Are they going to get this up to 25? Where do you think they land?
Boy, it's a super interesting question, because I think that now in today's college football, I think you get as many commits as you can. You get close to that 25, and then you see if you need to add guys in the portal later on as well, because there's just so many different ways for you to maneuver with the roster now. And even though Nebraska has a young football team, and I hear this all the time, is that, there's only a handful of seniors listed on the roster. That is true, but remember that COVID year has thrown everybody's class status off, right? So a lot of those guys that are listed as juniors have either graduated already or will be graduating shortly. And so you just never know how those decisions are going to go. So that was a long way to say I think they'll take a full class regardless.
Very good. Greg Smith, again, national recruiting analyst from Rivals, with us here on Sports Night. How's the Big Ten doing? Who's having a good year in the league recruiting-wise at this point as we get ready to exit June?
Yeah, I think that a couple of teams that are always mainstays, but one to really watch is Michigan. Michigan is in the top 3 right now of the Rivals rankings in the nation when it comes to what they've got going on with their recruiting class, and with some big-time names that they could still add. They've got a terrific offensive line class building up there, which is also no surprise given with Jim Harbaugh, the way that he likes to play football. But Ohio State, those guys in Columbus are rising as always, and they just picked up another 4-star commitment over the weekend from a cornerback, and they got a nice tight end as well. They're actually on the rise as well. They've got a top 10 class right now, but they've also got a few less commits than Michigan right now, so they still got a long ways to go there. That battle between those two teams, and Penn State, who's also kind of in the mix, are doing a real nice job. But one Big Ten West team, or two Big Ten West teams I want to mention quickly, Wisconsin and Minnesota, both of them doing well. Minnesota has over 20 commitments right now in their class. Wisconsin is hovering around the same amount as Nebraska, and those two teams seem to be battling it out for West supremacy, as we seem to always have happen in the recruiting standings.
How about Kirk Ferentz in Iowa? What kind of year are they putting together?
They're kind of right now. They're kind of laying back and laying in the weeds. We'll kind of see kind of if they kind of make a move. I think that they've got a number of guys that'll be making decisions here. Coming up around this time. Once we get past official visits and into that dead period, you get a crush of commitments all the way through July 4th. I do think Iowa will pick up some more guys here as we go along. Very good,
Greg. Awesome, great stuff as always. Keep up the good work. I know you're probably ready for the 4th of July, so you can breathe a little bit and get this this hectic month of June behind you, but we do appreciate the update.
Hey, thanks as always, and appreciate the time.
There he is, Greg Smith, a national recruiting analyst for Rivals, joining us here on Sports Night. Join us on our Sports Night hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations, or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. All right, 402-413-2400. That's the phone line. Also the text line. Jessica will rejoin me next.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, Don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time again for some Nebraska Farm Facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sap Brothers. For over 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sapbros.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioner is out again. SOS, he screams and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corbin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. more powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you Monday night, Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network, 402-413-2400. The number to dial us up with a comment or question, or if you want to, you can fire off a text. Thanks to Greg Smith for joining us. Lots to keep track of, and boy, what an impressive month. Up to 19 commitments in the class. I asked him the question, do you fill the full 25, or now in the age of the portal, do you save some back? But I think these rosters are so, I think the 25 number is kind of out the window. I think you just got to keep it at 85. And what's happening now, Jessica, is some kids are coming and they're not going on a scholarship. They're going to walk on, but they're going to make NIL money.
Right.
So they don't count against your 85, and I think we'll see that in other sports too.
Which we've seen some announcements for walk-ons too, and preferred walk-ons.
Yep.
But I mean, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is the first time ever, but it never happens where recruiting class, nobody stays committed the whole time.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
you see people change their minds or open up their commitments every year with every school. So the chance of every single one of these commitments coming here, to me, is a little bit not extremely in the cards, I guess. It's just not normally what happens. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that everybody that they have committed is going to stay, but it just usually is not what happens. Usually you have a guy or two that decommits and opens up their commitment.
It can be flipped, particularly if you have a staff in trouble.
Yeah.
Which that's not the case with that rural year one. I think a year ago at this time, you're like, you didn't know if that staff was going to survive. They didn't, and so it did really change. But I think with year one, I think you have a better chance of hanging on to people. But I think all Husker fans should be really happy with what Matt Rule has done and this staff has done in the first 7 months on the job.
Absolutely, and they had a massive weekend.
Yep.
They are all the details. I mean, I know that's something that we said a lot about this, but that's everybody that's on the staff, everybody that's involved, all the things that come together to make such a special weekend happen. I mean, they had it covered. And from top to bottom, every little thing was thought of, and it was a whole weekend. So I know that they put a lot into this weekend, and that's a big reason why these recruits come in. They feel so special, and they know how much it means to these coaching staffs. And, and just because they've committed doesn't mean other schools aren't going to commit them or keep recruiting them either. And so that's another thing that, with the tampering part of it, not tampering, because you can still talk to them up until the point that they've signed, but you never know what school might come in and say, hey, well, we can pay you this. But for what's in place right now and the job they've been able to do, because I feel like there wasn't 19 at this point a year ago.
Oh, no. Maybe 9 or 10.
Yeah. So the fact that they've already got so much of it full is also really good, because now you can start really making a push for that next class.
That's right. And it tells you that people are excited about what this coaching staff's doing here, so they're into it. LSU has rallied. They have tallied 3. They've taken the lead away from Florida. We were talking about Kim Mulkey in the opening segment. She's there tonight.
Oh, yeah.
They showed her in the stands there.
Yep. You said, there's your girl. I'm like, that's not my girl. But yes, there's Kim Mulkey.
Brian Kelly, the football coach for LSU, was there last night. I've not seen him there today, but I think that's great that, you got a team playing for a national title, that some of the other high-profile head coaches of those schools make the journey to Omaha to support the team. And so I don't know that I've seen, and I'm sure there's some Gator big-time alums there as well. But, Kim Mulkey was in the stands. And her son played college baseball at LSU.
Yeah.
Pretty good player, I think.
Yeah, he was. But she's from that area. She's from Louisiana, and so that's a lot of when she talked about going back home and wanting to do it there. So that area means a lot to the family for sure.
Jessica, we've lost a couple of famous Husker football alums in the last couple of weeks. Boomer Bob Brown passed away back on June 16th. the guy who was a terrific offensive lineman, has his jersey retired here at Memorial Stadium. A member of not only the College Football Hall of Fame, but the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He had a nice professional football career. Bob was into his 80s and passed away about 10 days ago. And then over the weekend, really sad news with Darren Dietrich passing away. Darren was a terrific running back, was on that Husker national championship team. They played for the national championship in the 2002 Rose Bowl, got beat by a terrific Miami Hurricane, but he was a really good back. Frank Solich, quoted in a story on ESPN.com today, said, "Great kid, huge heart in everything he did. I enjoyed being around him. I enjoyed coaching him. I think the players enjoyed being around him. He was a warrior. He was a perfect I back. To have a fullback in front of you, you could run I formation all day long with that combination. He was a true I formation tailback, and he would give you everything he had. He was the first Husker to be recruited from Canada. He was born in Jamaica, but he grew up in Canada, and the Huskers found him and brought him down here, and he was along that lines of those great tailbacks for the Cornhuskers, and gone far too young at the age of 44, succumbed to cancer. He went on and had a pretty good career in the CFL after hanging around a couple teams in the National Football League, but really sad to hear that over the weekend that Darren Dietrich passed at just the age of 44 years old. Way too young. All right, we'll step aside, get our final break in, back to wrap up hour one next.
Husker fans, the 2023 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support celebrating the 100th year of Memorial Stadium. Purchase a special Husker football Through These Gates mini plan. For only $100, you will be at the Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech games, plus your choice of one home Big Ten game. 3 games for only $100. Tickets available while supplies last. Purchase your Through These Gates mini plan today. For more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Woodhouse Mazda is bringing you all new vehicles like the first ever Mazda CX-90 that just hit our lots at 144th and Giles at Woodhouse Place Mazda, or off Highway 75 in Bellevue at Woodhouse Mazda. Experience 3 rows of comfort, making every drive more inspiring. Right now, get 3.9% APR for 36 months or 4.9% for 60 months on a 2024 Mazda CX-90. Visit us today to experience car buying on your terms. This is Woodhouse Mazda. With approved credit, tax, title, license, extra, and finance with Mazda Financial. Offer expires 6/30/2023. See dealer for complete details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 one-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22, now through the end of June. Dine in or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal, because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Hey, Husker fans, here's an opportunity for you to be a part of the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium by purchasing a Through These Gates mini plan. It's a 3-game ticket package that gets you both non-conference home games. Then you get to pick one of the 5 conference games: Michigan, Northwestern, Purdue, Maryland, Iowa. It's $100. The seats are in the north and south end zones. You can do it online, huskers.com/tickets. Call the ticket office during normal business hours at 1-800-8-BIG-RED. Or if you're in Lincoln and want to drop by the ticket office, you can do that as well during normal business hours. It is called the Through These Gates mini plan, and they have sold already several thousands of those. It'll sneak up on us, even though we don't have a home game till week 3. It's going to be really odd to have 2 road games to begin the year. I don't know that I've ever done that in my time in Nebraska. Weird.
I'm trying to think if ever in my career if I've ever done that, but yeah, it's.
I don't like it.
And
they
then,
didn't ask me.
And then for not to be on a Saturday.
True.
And then to be on the road and playing at 10 a.m. That's not normal either. Neither one of those are normal in addition to being on the road.
Bizarre. Carol, one of our favorite texters, said, could someone expand on the concern on what safeguards are in place regarding what I perceive could be behind the scenes, behind the green door, under the table corruption concerning the NIL process? It just seems NIL is rife with concerns surrounding the almighty dollar for the various players involved as it's tied to the transfer portal. She's exactly right. That's kind of what I think we were trying to get at earlier in the hour, is that we need something. Because right now, it's, as everybody's used the term Wild Wild West, it kind of is. And I just think we're going to see more and more teams try to buy their way to a championship.
And every state has different laws and legislations in place. And it takes, you have to go through all of the state legislation. So you don't want to make changes right now and then think, oh, in 2 months there might be a chance to even get, whoever has the best rules for their states are the ones that are kind of rolling it in right now. There are certainly some legislators that are trying, I think on both sides, that are trying to get something together to try to regulate it. The NCAA has just completely failed miserably at this from the start. They drug their feet in. They didn't want to have anything to do with it. Then it happened, and now they've kind of completely, I feel like, have not been involved at all. And the first major punishment or announcement of a violation that they handed out was for Miami women's basketball and the Cavender twins. I mean, so then your first major, there's all these things that are going on and you're going to go after a women's sport. To me, doesn't make any sense either. So, yeah, there's not a lot in place right now. And I think that's what everybody's pleading for, is some regulations across the board that can put everybody on an even playing level. But right now, there's just, that just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There is a committee that's supposed to be, monitoring if there's rules broken, but I don't know how much they're doing.
And that's the concern, is you brought up the different state laws. And that's why a lot of people are like, wait a minute, if that works in California but doesn't work in Ohio, that's an imbalance. And so that's why the NCAA, somebody who has some authority, needs to step in and get this done. It's almost like we've kind of done this in reverse order. They should have had all the rules kind of implemented before they engage the product, but it's going the other way.
Well, that's what everybody wanted, but then it wasn't going to happen, and then the states had to pass it because they're just, it kind of became too late, and that's why the NCAA needed to be more proactive about it. That's why they completely and utterly failed on this from the start, and now everybody's just trying to play catch up, and there are no set regulations because it's going state to state to state, and whatever the rules are, laws are within that state are allowed, and so certain states absolutely have a bigger advantage because of the rules and regulations that are in place for any given state.
We're working on putting together a program, bringing Matt Davison, who is with the 1890 initiative, and Jonathan Bateman, who's the athletic department's general manager, to oversee NIL. We're working on trying to get a night where we can get them into studio and to talk about it and lay it all out. It'd be beneficial for me. I mean, I don't know how some of this stuff works, and I know, folks, you are all dependent on us to lay it out for you, but it's so complicated. I don't have at least a full grasp of all this, what this is about.
I think things are going to just keep changing too, because right now schools are, universities can't have much to do with it, but I think that's going to change in the future. I think
agree.
Eventually universities, athletics departments are going to be able to be involved more, but right now there's not. So again, it's just going to keep changing, and nothing that how we see it now is necessarily going to be how it is in even a year from now.
Wild stuff, crazy stuff. All right, hey, our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. 6-2 Tigers. They've had a huge top of the second inning. Long way to go. We'll keep track of it over the next hour. When we come back, we're going to name our top athletes of the year for the Huskers. Have some fun with us next hour.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Our sports ticker tonight brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The college baseball world's going to crown a champion tonight as the LSU Tigers are battling the Florida Gators. It is 6-2 LSU there in the bottom of the second. A 6-run top of the second for the Tigers has given them a big lead. Winner take all tonight. LSU trying to win yet another national title. Big day for Husker football as they picked up commits 18 and 19 this afternoon for the 2024 class. Kewan Lacey, a running back out of Lancaster, Texas, chose the Huskers over Ole Miss, and defensive back Rex Guthrie from Colorado, choosing the Cornhuskers over the Wyoming Cowboys. Husker Soccer has hired a former player as an assistant coach. Savannah Anderson-Bear will become a fourth assistant for John Walker's program. She was an all Big Ten selection in 2018 and a two-time captain as a Cornhusker. Our sports ticker, sponsored by the 1890 Initiative, helping Husker student athletes navigate name, image, and likeness. To learn more or donate, visit 1890nebraska.com. Back with Hour 2, Sports Nightly, here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
3 eligible to the near side. Back to throw is Morgan. Stepping up, gets hit, dropped. Oh, he got drilled at the 18-yard line. Ty Robinson's second sack of the year. I think he took his shoes off with that hit. Simon gets the shotgun snap. Huskers send a corner blitz. Simon steps, throws. Pass intercepted. Picked off by Miles Farmer. To the 35, to the 30. Riptide down to the 27-yard line. Miles Farmer's 4th career INT.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
That was the hardest ticker I've ever had to do. I had to sneeze right in the middle of that thing.
That's the worst. Where you're trying to talk, but then you feel this in the where it won't come out either. Gosh, I hate that.
Oh boy, I had to kind of bite it. That was terrible. My goodness.
I don't think you're supposed to hold back sneezes, right? Doesn't it kill
really
a bunch of brain cells?
Yeah. I'm still here though. Still alive. Cole almost had to revive me, but we got through it. Welcome back. Hour 2 of our Monday night show. 402-413-2400. Numbers to call or text if you want to do that throughout the hour. This, remarkably, is our last show together for about 3 weeks. I'm going to be gone the rest of the week, so you're in charge. And then you're going to get out of here for a few days around the 4th. So I'll have a couple of shows next week, and then I'm out again the following week. So how about that? July 17th.
And then we're talking about being only a couple weeks away from fall camp.
That's right. Team reports on the 31st. How about that?
Yeah, and I know that there's going to be some more information coming out about Fan Day and all that kind of information. We'll start getting that kind of news. Really, it'll start pouring out here pretty soon.
Crazy how that happens. You get back from the 4th of July, and you start having media days. Usually the SEC is the first. The Big Ten's at the end of the month. They're kind of one of the last ones. Big 12 is maybe the second week of July as well, but the Big Ten likes to go late. So they'll be the last week of the month. So it's almost here. The magazines are out. My Phil Steele is not out yet. Looking for Phil. I do have an Athlons magazine that I picked up, but ready for the Phil Steele magazine.
I follow him. It's out. It just hasn't made it down here yet.
Haven't seen it. I know he said it went to the printer. Did it come out this weekend maybe?
I
maybe it went out this weekend.
I saw him retweet somebody that was reading it.
Okay.
So maybe it just hasn't made it here yet.
I'll go find that maybe on my week off here. Well, all right. So baseball will end tonight. That will end all of the competitions for the 2022-23 academic year. And so we thought, well, now that it's all finished, maybe you and I could put together our top male and top female Cornhusker athletes for the past 12 months. How hard was this, and was it harder on the male side or the female side for you?
It was harder probably for the women's side. I think for the men's side, I had a few guys, but how did I get to that list? A couple guys their team's not making the postseason. And for the women, there was a lot to choose from. And so I tried not to duplicate sports. So it was not easy. There's a lot of really good women's female athletes here. And again, it's kind of what I was saying earlier. How do you go about people all have their different rhymes or reasons why they vote for certain things. And a lot of it, sometimes you put the emphasis on team, sometimes you don't. Like we've got incredible individual athletes. So how do you so that's also kind of something to weigh into it too.
Very good. All right, this segment we're going to go on the men. Let's start with them first. First name on your list of 5.
Well, I don't really have it from 5 to 1, but I'll start with 5. I'm going to go with Taylor Christopoulos with Nebraska men's gymnastics. He's right now competing for Team USA, and we're just talking about what they did in a Husker uniform, but just to put in perspective how good he's done as a collegiate athlete, because you don't really try out as much, so a lot of it is what you do as a collegiate athlete for men's gymnastics, and he's the first Husker to compete for Team USA on the senior national team since 1998. So what he's done collegiately in 2 years has solidified himself as a member of Team USA, hopefully again for the Olympics a year ago. All-American. He was the College Gymnastics Association MVP of the Year, Big Ten Gymnast of the Year, the first Husker ever to win Big Ten Gymnast of the Year, that title outright. All Big Ten. He was a Big Ten vault champion. The accolades are long and lengthy, and so for me, it's what he did as a Husker, but then also what that's led to for what he's able to do even beyond just his Husker athletic career.
I think last month he might have been in the Pan Am Games.
Yeah, he was. He was. He won gold at the Pan Am Games.
Yeah, so just a terrific athlete, and well deserving of that spot. All right, one on my list, I've got Mikey Labriola, who finished runner-up in the NCAAs at 174, 30-2 record. Only the kid from Penn State got him both in the Big Ten finals and in the NCAA championships. What a career. And that's it for Mikey. He's done. That was it for him. But what an amazing career. What a season he had for a Husker wrestling team that had some really high moments throughout the year. And Mikey was kind of the head part of that whole monster that Mark Manning has built for Husker wrestling. So Mikey Labriola makes my team.
Mikey was number 1 on mine if I'm going from 5 to 1. But yeah, the NCAA runner-up, the first 5-time All-American in Husker wrestling history, which I know with the COVID year, but just remarkable to be the first ever when you're talking about Husker wrestling. When you could put that next to anybody's name is pretty remarkable with the program at Husker wrestling.
And he didn't like to talk. We tried for 2 years to try to get him.
Yeah.
And even Mark Manning says, he just doesn't like to do much media. He wants to stay focused and I respect that. That's fine. You can do that. But we never really had a chance to hear from him.
To go 30-2 in wrestling and in the Big Ten is really, really impressive. And I think we might have had another couple wrestlers that could have maybe competed with him on this list, like a Peyton Robb, but he got sick at the end, you know. But for me, what took the nod for me with Mikey was finishing NCAA runner-up, the only Husker to compete for an NCAA title.
All right, who's next on your list?
Okay, I think I'm going to go with Till Steinforth. We've talked a lot about him here this spring, but going back to the indoor, he broke the school record at the NCAA championships with the heptathlon. He finished 4th overall, which is All-American, was unbelievable. That's really hard to finish top 5 in those multi-sport events. And in the outdoor, we've had him on the show, of course, Big Ten champion in the decathlon, and then in one jump was also the long jump champion. So 2-time Big Ten champion, also helped lead the team, contribute to a team title, Big Ten champion, and then was the 4th overall finisher, All-American once again. Best ever finished by a Husker in the decathlon at the NCAA championships in the outdoor. So for me, he's got to be on the list for me.
Phenomenal athlete, only a sophomore. Got him for a couple more years. And, I think really the highlight for Husker teams for the entire year was the men's track team winning the outdoor.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest highlight.
It's only a Big Ten team title. Yep.
So, and that was a huge part of it. And, he was a big part of that just by what you said about running over and doing the long jump and picking up 10 more points for the team as they just absolutely smashed everybody in the Big Ten in that meet in Bloomington, Indiana. All right, the next one on my list is Max Anderson, second-team All-American, 414 average. So he hits over 400, which is just that magical mark in the ball bat sports. 21 home runs, 70 RBIs. At one point before the NCAA tournament got cranked up, he was one of only 2 players in the country to have over 100 hits. And he also played really well defensively. Only had a couple of errors all season long at second base. So Max Anderson makes my top 5 out Will Bolt's baseball team.
I also had Max Anderson on my list. I mean, the numbers were astounding at the plate. And he was the first player in the country, right, to get to 100 hits.
Yep.
And the first Husker to hit over 400 since 2001. Is that right? I mean,
22 years.
And he's leaving this season. All those numbers that you're saying are among some of the best hitting statistics in program history. And so top 10 in so many different areas. And anytime you're talking about potentially making an All-American status and your team not making a postseason, to me is really impressive. So yeah, I mean, he was from the start to finish was
solid.
Was so solid, and it's just so hard to hit like he hit all year from start to finish. So yeah, he's got to be on the list for me too.
And going to have a big summer because the draft's in a couple weeks.
Yep.
He's going to go really early. Both he and Bryce should go second round, maybe third round, but they're going to get a really good shot at pro ball. So well deserving. All right, on your list next.
Okay, this is where I kind of struggled because I'm going to go with a men's basketball player. And so I went between Keisei Tominaga and Derek Walker. And I just had to go with Derek Walker just for his all-around contributions to a team. He led the team in scoring, rebounding, and assists, the first Husker to do that since in all three of those categories since 1970s. I mean, he just did so much and on any given night, and the way that he was able to help this team. And a lot of what Keisei was able to do, this is what gave me the nod, a lot of what Keisei was able to do was playing off of Derek Walker. And so they played so well together, and Keisei getting some open looks and how well Derek passed him the ball to me. So that's why I went with Derek Walker. But the run that this team went on in February was just huge. I mean, I've talked to two players right now that said that they took notice of what this crowd fan base was like during that stretch in February. So even though they didn't make the postseason, that stretch was huge in getting some future Huskers to want to come play here and play in front of that atmosphere. And it was fun. It was so much fun. And they won 5 in a row, 6 of their 8 there in February. We're doing some really special things. It was, man, this place was electric. And so to me, that's why I had to put a basketball player on the list. And I think what that season did there in February, some of the things that they were able to do was pretty instrumental in getting some of these Huskers that are now here to come here and want to play here.
You know, everybody raves about Keisei, and that's fine. And I would always tell people a lot of his magic was because of Derek.
Yeah.
And his ability to get him the ball where he needed to be. And those two were in sync.
Absolutely.
They knew exactly if they were going to do a backdoor cut or where he was going to come hard off of the screen and get a pass. And Derek was so good at that. I hope Rink Mass can fill part of that role. I don't want to put it all on Rink's shoulders because that's probably not fair. But Derek was so special for that team. And you know, we talked some about the net and how we talked about the RPI in baseball and softball, and it's flawed. The net's flawed, too.
Yeah, it really is.
You know, Nebraska goes to Rutgers late in the year, and they win a big road game, and it didn't hardly move their net at all. And you're like, come on, that should have been worth a lot for them.
And to be a hot team at the end of the season,
Yes.
they should have been in the NIT. But to lead a team as a big man in scoring, rebounding, and assists, you just don't see that. And so, you know, you might see some point guards or some guards that are able to do that. But for the big men to lead, and he was one of the top 10, but one of the best passers in all of college basketball, for sure in the Big Ten. I mean, just his ability to pass the basketball. So Derek Walker rounds out my 5.
Very good. All right, my other one is Jonah Wilson. Won the Big Ten indoor in the shot, finished second in the NCAA indoor in the shot. Had a disappointing outdoor meet in Austin, as did a lot of the male throwers. For whatever reason, they just were off that week in Austin, Texas. But Jonah was just a monster for this team. A transfer into the program from Washington. He was a Husky before that. So Jonah Wilson rounds out my 5 because I also had Till and Taylor in my group as well that you had. But Jonah, I thought was really impressive and huge in the indoor. And I know we didn't win the team title there. I think we finished 3rd, but to finish second in the NCAA in the indoor, pretty impressive.
Well, that's where what I was telling you is trying not to pick 2 from one sport for me. And so the honorable mention for me, I almost had Trey Palmer on my list just because of some of the things he was able to do in one season, over 1,000 yards receiving. Broke the receiving yards in a season. Also, the program record for that. Also, receiving yards in a game when he had 232 at Purdue. That was unbelievable. If you're just talking about maybe performances,
right,
that's going to be on that list. And so, and only the 3rd 200 receiving yard for a Nebraska receiver, and just he was also all over the record books in one season. But just for me, I think the other guys just separated themselves a little bit with the team success on some of those other ones.
My honorable mention, I had Keisei that I considered to put in my 5. I had Darius Luff.
Yeah.
Considered in my 5. I know he didn't. He won a Big Ten title, and what did he finish? 6th at the outdoor in the NCAAs. So he had a really, really good year. I had Peyton Robb. I kind of came down between Peyton and Mikey, and Eileen Mikey, and I think you did kind of the same thing. And then I had Bryce Matthews as an honorable mention guy as well.
I think it's a pretty good list.
Pretty good list. Really good list. We're getting some people. Art in Los Angeles kind of gives us his thoughts on some male athletes. He had Max, he had Casey, he had Peyton Robb, and then he said, by the way, Greg, to stop a sneeze, hold your index finger sideways under your nose. This will stop you from sneezing.
Well, and while you're talking,
yeah, that was going to be hard. I was right in the middle of the ticker. I couldn't stop. And Mark wants to say that Barnes & Noble told him that Phil is expected on the shelves June 30th.
There you go.
So it's not out yet here in Nebraska.
Shout out Mark for going to
Anyway, Mark.
ask.
So that's Friday. June 30th is Friday.
Ooh.
All right. We'll get that. All right. There's our men. We'll have our women coming up here in just a minute. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Back with our 5 female athletes of the year. We'll do that next.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. Engineering professor Ronald Faller has been named a Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors, the highest professional honor among academic inventors. As director of UNL's Midwest Roadside Safety Facility, Faller has played a key role in developing innovative roadside safety technologies that are used around the world. Faller has earned 8 U.S. patents and 3 foreign patents over his 35-year career.
FNBO free checking is checking that's actually free. No fees or minimums, and now no overdraft fees. It's ever so personal, with people to help every step of the way. And easy, with a mobile app that allows you to deposit checks and manage your account wherever you are. So make the switch so you can do more with the Great Big Small Bank. Visit fnbo.com to learn more or stop on by. FNBO free checking. It's ever so free. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval.
Since 1993, Dakota Mac has offered fixed long-term ag real estate loans perfect for any stage of life. The rebellious 15-year loan. The Here for Laundry 20-year loan, and the 30-year loan who thinks they can tell you a thing or two about parenting. Whatever your needs, trust Dakota Mac with your legacy.
Hi, it's Nick Reno from Dakota Mac. Please call me at 308-380-7564 to learn all about our competitive rates on ag real estate loans.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 one-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22, now through the end of June. Dine in or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. That's why we make trucks like Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight and counting. Made for performance and capability, Made to play hard and work smart, on and off-road. That's because they're built Ford tough. So be future ready with Ford F-Series, based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. It's our last show together for about 3 weeks. I'm going to slip out for the rest of the week. You'll be in good hands with Jessica for the end of the week. Then I'm back for a couple of shows next week, and then Jessica will have the week after the 4th of July in studio. So we're putting a bow on the end of the 2022-2023 season by naming our top Husker athletes of the year. We just went to the male category. I had a little bit harder time narrowing it to 5 on the female side.
I did too. Yeah, I really did too. There's a lot of really great athletes to pick from. I mean, you're talking about 2 individual national titles for track and field that it's pretty hard to win those national titles in track and field in 2. And so I guess that's where I'll start, because to me, hands down, the number 1 athlete is Axelina Johansson. A Big Ten Field Athlete of the Year, was the national champion just a couple weeks ago, and all 6 of her throws would have won the NCAA title. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then she has the Nebraska school record, the Swedish national record, Big Ten outdoor champion, and then she swept both the indoor and outdoor Big Ten shot put titles, but she was the national runner-up, oh, by the way, in indoor as well. So national champion, national runner-up, sweeps Big Tens, and all kinds of records that she broke week in and week out. To me, I had to give her the nod.
No argument there. I mean, she just is a dominant athlete. She could be in the running for conference female athlete of the year, and I know Caitlin Clark probably has that sewn up. But
and she's on the list of, each school nominates somebody, and I think that's where, when everybody huddled together, I think it's pretty hard to argue against what she's been able to do this year.
All right, on my list, Lexi Rodriguez, second-team All-American, all Big Ten. She was first-team All-American as a freshman, slipped back to second-team. Maybe it had something to do with the Huskers' loss in the Sweet 16 round, but she's the heartbeat of this team, and John Cook had the quote last week about how the team kind of revolves around Lexi, and he didn't mean that in a mean way at all. It's that she's just kind of the heartbeat of that entire team, and so Lexi makes my 5.
She's on my list as well, and just how many times does what she does not necessarily show up on a stat sheet, and how many times her momentum swings, some of her big plays, she keeps teams in it. You know, I also, Maddie Kubik was also maybe potentially if we were picking between volleyball, but to me, I think because for that very reason of what you just said, with Nebraska volleyball, they have so many stars that It's hard to pick just one. But to me, for that very reason, for Lexi Rodriguez, that she was the heartbeat, and I think you could just see all the unbelievable plays that she made to keep things alive. She made my list as well. Keep rolling here.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm going to go with Courtney Wallace, and her statistics are not going to jump out at you as far as strikeouts or all of that. But what she did for this softball team this year, just unbelievable, the workload that she took on to get this team back to the postseason, and was 8th in the country. She pitched 222 innings. Whew. And just was such a great leader. And this team had so much adversity and had the injury to Kaylin Kenny early in the season. And then it just became between her and Sarah Harness that had to carry the load. This team doesn't make it to the postseason without Courtney Wallace. And so to get back to the postseason, for Courtney to just continue night in and night out, day in and day out, hey, give me the ball. I'll do whatever I can do to get this team wherever it needs to go to the postseason, get back to the postseason. Her final year, she's just done so much in her career, and for her to take on what she took on this year and to get the team back to the postseason, to me, she had to be on the list for me.
Great selection. I went softball, but I didn't go with Courtney. I went with Billy Andrews. All-American.
Good pick, yeah.
Hit 354, 16 home runs, played great in the shortstop position for that team. Loved Courtney to death, but Billy was the one, I think, in the lineup that everybody was concerned about. Is she coming up this inning? Are people on base when she comes up? She affects the game so much with her glove. Not in the circle like Courtney, but that was tough for me, but I went with Billy.
It would be interesting to see how they even voted on the team MVP, because I think those two were hands down.
Yeah.
I just went with, because of the workload that Courtney took on, I mean, they just do not get where they are without her. They were already shorthanded. I'm going to go with our girl. She's one of our favorites, Kellyanne Strand, arguably the best freshman season in women's golf history. The 54-hole school record, the Nebraska season stroke average record, the freshman stroke average record, played in the #1 spot all season long for a team that also got back to the postseason. I mean, the best freshman, or the best season ever for a freshman for women's golf, and you're talking about potentially maybe even comparing the best season ever. And she's going to just break her own probably each year, but some of the things she did with her in comparison for some of the best to ever been done in this program. So I'm going to go with Kellyanne Strand.
Great pick there. I'm going rifle. Cecilia Ossie, who won the NCAA small bore championship. It's just hard to ignore a national champion, so that's why I could not keep her off my list. Terrific young lady. She's already even won another huge competition since the NCAA that wasn't for Nebraska, but it was in the profession, or not the profession, but the sport of rifle. She's a terrific athlete, great representative. I loved your interview with her from a few months back, but she makes my 5.
She was on my honorable mention, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of, we were on a committee that voted for some things, and it's hard to deny a national champion in any form. And yeah, she's a great advocate, great representative of this university, and more than just being an athlete. I'm going to round up my top 5 with Miss Sarah Weber from Husker softball. Sophomore, first team All Big Ten, is a leader on offense, led the team with 10 goals, had 5 assists, 3 game winners, including the upset win over Penn State. Also was named to the U.S. Under-23 national team, and led this team to a Big Ten semifinal appearance. And this is one of the hottest teams in the country. Nobody wanted to play Nebraska there at the end of the season. They got hot at the end of the season, needed maybe 1 or 2 more wins to be able to get into the postseason, but they were right there. And, again, all Big Ten, first team member. So I'm going with Sarah Weber.
And she's getting some looks for playing on some U.S. teams.
Yeah.
She went and played on a U.S. select team over the winter months. She's a terrific player. Folks, you need to get out, watch her play and watch that team play. They start in about 6 weeks.
Out of Gretna, Nebraska.
Yep. Gretna's
that powerhouse.
They have produced so many good athletes for
pipeline.
Nebraska. It is a huge pipeline coming down here. So, again, their season starts in about 6 weeks. So I'm glad you put Sarah on your list. I kind of gave the tip earlier that I had a hard time ignoring NCAA champions. So my last one is Rima Odebar, who won the NCAA in the javelin in Austin a couple weeks ago, set the school record with her throw. She had a terrific year, another transfer into Nebraska's program. But to go win an NCAA title is hard for me to ignore, so Rima makes my 5.
Hard to leave either one of those off. Rima, and they don't throw the javelin in indoors.
So she doesn't feature.
She didn't have a chance, but Jazz Shelley was one that was on my honorable mentions too, just for what she's able to do for this basketball team. And again, another team that had a lot of adversity, and 3 30-point games, 8 20-point games. Another first team All Big Ten selection, the first for Amy Williams in her tenure here, the first team All Big Ten selection, 14 over 14 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. I mean, you're talking any night she's on triple-double alert, and all the things that she can do to impact a game. Had that 37-point performance against Minnesota, 31 points against Wisconsin, and then that was coming right on the heels of the 29 points when Nebraska goes and upset and beat Maryland on their home turf for the first time ever. And so NIT went on, and again, more adversity with Sam Hyvee going down, and they go to the Sweet 16, lose to the eventual champion Kansas. So Jazz Shelley was also right there on the verge of making my top 5.
You know, at times you want her to be more selfish.
Yeah,
you know, there's times like, take over, take the shot, take it, where there's times she wants to get all of her teammates, and that's a great trade, get all of her teammates involved. You're kind of need you to take the next 3 shots. And, you know, maybe she was deferring some to Sam Hyvee. Now she won't feel like she has to do that because Sam has graduated and moved on. But there were just times in games like, Jazz, we need you. Go. Take it.
Her teammates were asking for that, too. I mean, we saw how, especially, she can pour it in buckets when she gets hot. And, yeah, there are times you want her to be more aggressive and look for a shot more. But that's just not – she is just a pass first, kind of involve everybody else first type of guard.
I had Jazz and Sarah on my honorable mention. I had Jillian Martin, and I had a hard time keeping Jillian. Husker bowler, freshman of the year in the country, first-team All-American as a true freshman. Now, they came up short in the final weekend of the season. They didn't get to roll for the national championship, but they got to the semifinal round. But Jillian Martin is going to be a rock star for Husker bowling. Just finished that first year. She's from the state of Ohio. She's the next superstar in that bowling program for Nebraska. But I had a hard time keeping Jillian, but she did make my honorable mention.
We almost got every women's sport covered between all of our
pretty close
athletes.
I did not have a women's gym.
No. And to me, I think you've got maybe a couple that you could maybe put on that list too. I actually thought about Emma Spence, the all-arounder who's competed in every single meet as an all-arounder, and she's unbelievable. But she was in my thought process as well. We didn't have a swimmer and diver, and we didn't have a tennis player, but boy, there's a lot to choose from on the women's side of things. There's a lot of really talented, and a lot of these people that we're talking about are young. You're talking about sophomores and juniors. I don't know if any of them are a senior, right? Courtney Wallace was the only one for me.
Yeah. How is Rima? What is she? I don't know.
I think she's a junior.
Okay. And Axelina is back.
Yeah, she's a sophomore. She's a freshman last year. So we're talking Killian Strand was a freshman. Sarah Weber was a sophomore. Billy Andrews was a junior this past year. She'll be a senior. Lexi Rodriguez was a sophomore. Jazz coming back. So none of these athletes either are on their way out, which we had a few of those on the men that their careers are done.
They're done. They're finished. All right, that was fun. Glad we were able to get that done here tonight. So I hope everybody enjoyed listening to that as we kind of made our way through as we put a bow on the end of the 2022-2023 season. And I think a lot of things are really pointing up. And goes to Jessica's point about not a lot of seniors, particularly on the women's side. Some teams are going to have a heck of a year, I think, coming up.
I think it's going to be a special year.
I agree. All right, 402-413-2400. Did we miss somebody? Or would you want to make an argument for one of our at-larges? Our honorable mentions should have been 1 out of 5. Love to hear your thoughts on that. Call or fire off a text. Hey, folks, buckle up. Put the phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More of the show straight ahead.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 one-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22, now through the end of June. Dine in or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Experience luxury car buying like never before when you shop at Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Our friendly sales team is here to help you every step of the way, from finding the perfect Genesis model to securing financing that works for you. Right now, lease the thrilling 2023 Genesis G90 3.5T all-wheel drive for $1,279 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles a year. With approved credit, tax, title, and license extra, $6,999 cash or trade down. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Security deposit waived. Acquisition fee included. Stock number GG230117. See dealer for details. Offer expires 6/30/23.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corbin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioner is out again. SOS, he screams and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and the service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you on a Monday night. Cole Hartman steering the ship for us tonight, my last show of the week. I'm going to slip out of here for a couple of days. You're going to be okay, right? You got enough stuff to throw at the folks?
Oh, my
here?
goodness. I'm really excited. I got a lot of great content. Was able to chat with Corey Campbell, strength and conditioning coach for Nebraska football, get an update on that, and sat down with a lot of the Nebraska volleyball newcomers that we'll be bringing to you over the next few weeks as well. So, yeah, I'm excited. Got some awesome stuff ahead.
You know, one thing, I kind of didn't know this was going on, but I've seen it the last couple of weekends, is they've got this big flag football thing going on weekends inside the stadium, and the guys on the team are coaching it. It's youth, it's kids that are coming here and part of a flag football team. And
It's not part of the camps?
no, Elijah Judy is one of the coaches. He keeps tweeting about another massive win today for his team. So they've divvied it up, and they've got several of the guys coaching some of these teams. What a cool idea. I mean, use that thing out there. Let kids come in and run around on a Sunday afternoon. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was one of the things I talked to Corey Campbell about because, we heard Coach Roll say how important the camps were, but he brought up a point about they want to be involved in the community. They want to give back to the community, and that's another way to get to do that. And allow these kids that, dream about running out on that field, might not otherwise have a chance, and
Right.
give them a chance to, hey, this is what I could do one day. So, yeah, it's awesome, really cool opportunity for them to get to do that.
I need to ask some questions, because I don't know much about it, but I've seen the last couple Sundays, guys have been tweeting about it.
Listen, it has been a party, I feel like, up here on the weekends, the last 4 weekends, with the recruits and camps and all the other things that are going on. I mean, they had a big station of, I don't know, some gaming console. I'm not sure what everybody's into these days. Cole, what's the #1 gaming system right now?
Oh, I don't know.
Call of Duty?
The gaming system is probably a PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had a row of that for the recruits, and they've got this cool thing. You've probably seen some of the photos that they're behind a Madden kind of frame type deal. It looks really awesome. So they've got a lot of things that are going on down there in the concourse. And but yeah, it's been a lot going on up here. You mentioned it. I mean, they've been grinding. They haven't stopped.
So a couple of the coaches have told me they're out of here for a while. Were you much of a gamer? I wasn't. I mean, a little bit in college, but not much. And
So my parents would not allow my
Really?
brother and I to have one until he was in high school. And I got really, really good at Nintendo 64 and really good at Mario Kart on Nintendo 64.
played a lot of Mario Kart.
And so I feel like I'm in the upper echelon, upper tier if there's a ranking system of Mario Kart computers. And I actually beat Baker Mayfield once.
Wow.
On the big screen, and he was really, really mad about it because he was a quote-unquote gamer. And yeah, so I would challenge anybody. Anybody wants. I've never been beat in Mario Kart.
Throwing it down.
Maybe in like one race, but in terms of like a series, like if an ongoing series, I don't know if there's many people that can beat me in Mario Kart.
Cole, you a gamer?
I have been known to game. Yeah.
Which one? What do you dabble in?
He goes in the weekends and competes.
Yeah, there's some FPS games that I'd used to.
Okay.
They're computer games, though, and I had played for UNL. Esports at UNL's blowing up.
Well,
And,
it's Amon Green.
Yeah.
Is
That's
here
right.
doing a lot of that right now.
Yeah, I had spent a lot of times connecting with those people in the UNL esports scene. Made a lot of good friends there. So
Cole's being a little bit modest. So a couple weekends ago, I believe you were on a baseball trip, and he had to leave because he was going to play in a tournament, and he hadn't played in a while. He's like, I don't know how it's going to go. I haven't played in a while. And he shows up there, and his team wins.
that's right.
Did you get like a medal or something for
We got
it?
a little plaque.
That's nice.
Yeah, it had our.
Why is it not hanging up behind your control room over there?
Hey, we're talking
I'll
about
bring
getting
it.
like a kind of some shelves behind me. I feel like Cole's
gaming trophy should sit on there?
Yes, like we should start accumulating some of the trinkets, and that should be part of on the shelves. Cole?
I'll gladly do that. Yeah, I'll bring
Okay.
it in tomorrow.
Cole, I learned. I did not know that you were
Yeah, he's being modest over there.
high-level gamer.
I'm mostly retired now. It's my fingers get old, you know.
Yeah, you're really ancient.
I'm past my prime.
Yeah. All right, it's an exploding area, and I know that a lot of people in the advertising world are trying to monopolize that. They're trying to get involved in that because they know those are young people that may go buy their product, whether it's a Pepsi or something like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All
I
right.
figured like you'd know all the like dances and stuff too that people get off of. What's the game that they get all the dances from, Cole?
Fortnite.
Yeah,
Yep.
I figured Greg, you'd be like a Fortnite dance expert.
No, can't say that I am. Mario Kart, yeah, I've played a lot of Mario Kart, but not the dance moves. I think we do have in the house one of those dance games you're referencing, but I have not played it. So
No, it's not a dance game. It's Fortnite. And, like the dabs and stuff, like some of those.
But there are like dance things you can do too that they can do.
Yeah.
So we've had some of those things, but yeah. All right, we need to step aside, get our final break in. We've got weekend winners coming your way to wrap up the show tonight. Before we do that, though, we still give you a chance to be a part of the 100th anniversary Memorial Stadium by purchasing a Through These Gates mini plan. It's a three-game ticket package that gets you both non-conference games, Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech, and then you get to pick one of the 5 conference games, whether it be Michigan or Iowa or Purdue or Northwestern or Maryland. You get to pick the one that maybe fits the date that you can handle the best. There are seats in the north and south end zone. 3 ways to go about getting these. Go to huskers.com/tickets, call the ticket office at 1-800-8-BIG-RED, or go visit the ticket office if you are in the Lincoln area. I don't want to date the folks in our chat room, but some of the suggestions they're throwing out are going way back.
Like Pac-Man? Yeah.
Galaga, Pac-Man, Pong. Pong was like the first one ever in the 1970s.
Pong.
It was kind of a tennis type thing in the 1970s. Man, we got some old people in that chat room. All right, take a break. Back with our winners next.
People will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 one-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22, now through the end of June. Dine in or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO. Independent and family-owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com. Member FDIC.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations, or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. All right, back for the final segment of the night. We save Mondays late in the show for our weekend winners. Jessica, what's on your mind here?
Okay, listen. I got to go with this video that came out, kind of went viral, I think, starting this morning. But it's from Abdul Beecham. He is currently an offensive lineman for the XFL Guardians. Well, they had a gender reveal video, and they pull I don't know, the thing that has the confetti out, and it's a boy. And he went immediately into pass protection as
like
an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it was awesome video. It's hilarious. So then we texted, you and I both are thinking right when we saw it, we both texted Jeremiah about it, like almost at the same time. And so he was laughing. He goes, you have both sent me that. It's like you know me or something. So I said, how was the technique? And he goes into this full description. Super clean set, good balance through his lower body with minimal wasted movement in his upper body. Would like to see him transition a little bit better with the redirect from kick to post. Hands could be held a little higher and more ready in the strike position. Overall, good set. Just could be tightened up a touch. LOL. But it was a fun video to watch. But congratulations, you're having a boy. And he's apparently going to be an offensive lineman from the start.
So they had like these little cannon things. They shot up in the air, and as soon as he saw it was blue, he jumps right into that offensive line stands. That's pretty cool. Oh, good stuff. All right, Cole, top that one.
I don't think I will top it. But
I thought you were going to have a profound answer, is what you told us.
It's not. It's good, though. It's Rocco's Pizza in Omaha. They do the yearly the Jell-O shot thing for the CWS. And I was looking on Twitter, and they're beyond like 100,000 sold, which is great because a percentage of the proceeds go to the food banks of Omaha and local areas. So that's a cool way to give back, take advantage of a large crowd in their city and give back.
I think I read somewhere that they were kind of saved by this shot. They got hit pretty hard during COVID, and that they started the shot challenge after that, and it really was a big to helping their business get back on its feet. And over 50,000 Jell-O shots that the LSU crowd have taken.
They were at 64,800 earlier this evening.
Is that total or is that LSU's total?
That's LSU's total.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
A lot of other schools are in
over $100,000 have been raised for the food bank.
Great.
So it's a really cool deal for sure.
Fantastic. And you're right. What a kind of cool niche. And I think we knew going into the CWS that LSU was the prohibitive favorite.
Yeah, they were. Yes. They were
to win the jelly.
They were the clear favorite.
Yeah, clear favorite of that. All right, my weekend winner, Matt Waldron, the former Husker, made his major league debut Saturday night. He got the pitch for the Padres, did well, 4 2/3 innings, gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, came out of the game. He ended up getting the loss because the Padres got shut out, and he did get sent right back down to AAA on Sunday. But if that's his only moment, he did really well. He should be really proud of that.
There's a lot of people that would kill for that moment.
Absolutely. Threw about 60-some pitches. In fact, some of the fans, I was kind of following the Padres' Twitter, and they're like, why are we taking him out? He's doing fine. Leave him in the game. But he probably, as you know, the heart rate was pumping, and he probably was exhausted because of how much energy you put into it. So you're so excited to make your major league debut. So good for Matt Waldron. At least got a taste of the big leagues for 1 start. So that was kind of cool. All right, I'm out of here for a while. I won't see you for like 3 weeks.
I know. You're out, and I'm out.
And then Cole's out next week. Cole,
you know what? Cole's really been the weekly winner. If we had a winner on Friday night, he'd be the winner.
For the joke?
Well, no, not for the joke. Absolutely not for the joke. He's got to improve. I told him if he wants his segment back this week while you're gone, he better up his game because I'm not doing that.
Tim in Minnesota gave him a C-.
I know. I'm not doing that C- crap on this show while you're gone. So I told him to be better. But as far as everything that he's doing for us, helping us record all this content that's headed your way, he's definitely been the MVP.
Well, you'll have to write it down for me, whatever he comes up with for his joke of the week. Cole, thanks. Jessica, have a great week. Happy 4th of July to everybody. I'll be back with you after the 4th for a couple of shows next week. Be good. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Grant Hansen with Campus News. University of Nebraska leadership has launched a $3 billion fundraising campaign to support education access for Nebraska students. The Only in Nebraska campaign, the largest in university history, will focus on creating scholarships to make education more affordable, attracting more Nebraska students, and keeping young people in the state after graduation.
Woodhouse is bringing the entire lineup of General Motors vehicles to you. Visit our 2 new locations, Woodhouse Chevy and Woodhouse Cadillac in Omaha, off 112th and Dodge. We offer a wide range of cars, trucks, and SUVs with features you actually want in your next vehicle. Plus, experience a simple and streamlined car buying process, no matter which of our 4 General Motors